Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463.
The Sphere Network. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today at advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Baptiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Technocrats. I'm your host, Ariana McKinney. You can find me on social media at Dish with Ari. I am here this evening with my co-host, the amazingly lovely Gary Lee. How you doing today?
What's up, good people? Welcome back to Technocrats. I'm your co-host, Gary Lee, also known as G. Hawkins, of course. You can find me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and obviously Skype at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. Ari, what's up? How you feeling? You're in the studio solo dolo.
I am. It's it's good. It's all good. It's been a election week, crazy week, interesting stuff going on. How about you?
Yes, it's about the same. It's real interesting. Things are crazy. Obviously, I'm off-site right now out in New York, and I had to do an interview yesterday, and I've got another show to be on tomorrow. So it's just,
nice.
Trying to get things done and represent the Sphere accordingly.
Yeah.
So just out here getting it. But yeah, we're hot off the elections, and it looks like we've got a great article that kind of gives us some access to something that surrounds the elections. Am I right?
We do. Yeah. This article popped up in my Facebook feed, and it caught my attention because it created a pretty heated debate amongst the people in the thread. So I thought it was perfect, given that we are here the day after election day. And so let's dive right into it. So this is an app called Vote With Me that can show you the voting history of the folks in your contacts list. So essentially, it tells you when the last time someone has voted, what political party they're registered with, whether they voted in primaries, midterms, and the purpose of this app is it was initially started to help one another, encourage each other to vote. So for instance, it's got different options. For instance, if somebody is maybe not a hardcore voter, there's little kind of pre-filled out messages that you can send, kind of based on different scenarios. But it's very interesting because people were very concerned about the implications of people being able to get this information and how it might be used. Now, granted, all of this information is public record, so it's not doing anything. The app itself isn't doing anything nefarious in the sense of, pulling up or giving folks access to data that they couldn't access themselves if they wanted to. But I don't know. It's a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little invasive, but what do you think?
Well, I don't know if I necessarily think it's invasive because once again, as you mentioned a moment ago in the article, all of this stuff is public record, right? So these are things that anyone can just do a quick Google search and pull up. It's not as though this is information that cannot be found. But I think what it does do is it shines a spotlight on what some people want to, for whatever reason, have tucked away in the closet a little bit. So, if you're a part of a particular left or right wing leaning party and you don't want other people to know that you're a part of that party, yet you have registered for said party, that information will be public, and it always has been. And this just is a example of technology allowing us to dive a bit deeper on things that, of course, may not necessarily be the front view that you would have on your social media posts.
Well, yeah, and an interesting point that was brought up in the thread, the original thread, was that,
Hmm.
you know, voting and that sort of thing has always been considered a very private matter, something you don't necessarily talk about, and, shouldn't be expected to disclose if you don't want to. But, a lot of people were kind of like, well, given the current climate that we're in, socially, politically, what have you, you know, does something like your voting history and your voting record become more important in terms of the friendships that you have and, the relationships that you have with people? And, for instance, if you find out that someone that you considered a friend, or an ally doesn't vote with the, policies that align with, the things that you thought as a friend they would vote for, does
Hmm.
that change how you feel about that person now? Does that affect the relationship? That was a big focus of the, conversation on Facebook.
Well, maybe it does. I just installed the app. I'm excited. And it works. And I do not mind. I'm going to put up, let's see if it shows my information. None, that's how I don't
I mean,
care.
I'm unbothered by it personally. And to clarify, I
Yeah.
don't think it's invasive. Some people online thought it was invasive. You know, people were kind of making comments about, well, what about if you're a potential employer? Oh,
Yep, and there's mine right there. I just logged in, and it shows me voted in Republican primary because technically I am party affiliated Republican, and I do that intentionally because I want to see what my opposition sees. I want to get the phone calls that they get. I want to get the flyers and see what type of information. So I'm more Sun Tzu Art of War style. But yeah, I am literally, it shows that I voted in all the way from the primaries of 2008 all the way up. I did not vote I voted in 2000 general, not the 2002, 4, or 6. And then I voted again in 2008, and I voted ever since then. So it shows a full voting list for those that are watching this right now. You can actually see what I voted. Well, you can see not who I voted for, but you can definitely see that I have voted and my party affiliation, which is fine. I mean, it's out there, it's
yes.
public record. I don't have an issue, and
Yeah,
I just showed it to the world.
to clarify, people don't have access to who you specifically voted for. It's
Exactly.
it's your party affiliation at the time of the election. So you still
And
never really know.
yeah, I like this. I'm gonna,
I thought it was interesting though.
I'm,
It gives you other information like information about your local elections, polling places. There's an
yeah.
image up right now, so you can see. It even helps you with your absentee ballots. It tells you like when it was postmarked and all that. A lot of really useful information.
Yeah, and I think that this is going to be something that will draw us closer to the idea of online voting. I mean, we've got the technology now where if we really wanted to vote, and I said online voting, but what I really mean is voting electronically via an app,
Right.
right? We've got the technology now with front-facing cameras that we could do a continual facial recognition. That means that the person who signed in with fingerprint authentication and facial recognition. So you got two factor authentication. that we can make sure that this person is in front of their phone and looking at this ballot and making these decisions on screen. So we've got the technology where we could
Right.
successfully put people in a position to vote from their devices. The question is, do the Congress people, does the president, will our local, state and local representatives want us being able to have that type of access, easy access to voting? I would say, depending on your party affiliation, they may not want that.
Right. And just to repeat again, the app for Amy Frazier there on Facebook Live, tuning in, the app is called Vote With Me.
Vote with me. Ooh,
Yes, yes,
let me
yes,
hop on
yes.
Facebook and make sure I do my share. I just thought about that. Let me share the show.
Yes, let's do that. And while you are doing that, let's talk about this portion of the show, which is sponsored by the Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33%, or more than 77 million of Americans, don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say they don't have enough savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services.
That's what's up. Those ladies are out there working. They're getting it. But yeah, I'm with this, and I am excited to, I guess, see where this goes. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to vote. The progressives will be able to get in charge. And progressives meaning liberals, meaning
Yes.
Democrats, will be able to get in charge and actually push forward the idea of being able to vote via a phone or app or something along those lines. My
Yeah.
fingers are crossed.
Me
We'll see what
too.
happens.
Me too.
So, sitting in the Mobility Weekly, and of course, for those that are just tuned in or maybe unaware, Mobility Weekly is where we like to discuss anything that's happening on a mobile phone or anything that's in the mobile sphere of things, pun intended. One of the cool things we've got coming down the pipe for you all is foldable Android phones. I literally just saw this pop up on a news feed, and I want to make sure we got this in on the show because I think that this is madly important. It looks like there's a wave coming of these devices that will be able to be foldable. Um, we've got the code being picked up at the Android Developers Summit, and this was actually today. So we're getting you some hot, fresh news that we're going to have devices that will be able to flex and bend and have functionality within that bend. Now, we've seen Android or Samsung, shall I say, screens that are bendable. We've seen the foldable Android Flex screens that have been in some of their Galaxy devices over the last couple of years. But we're actually talking about different modes when a phone is fully folded at a 90 degree or more angle. And we're also talking about some continuity opportunities. Now, I know that my cohort in there is not on the Android train.
No.
But I think the question I would pose out to those that are on Facebook Live right now, and of course to anyone else who's listening or watching, is this something that Android users want? I mean, do we want foldable devices?
Is this something that cell phone users in general want? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I'll say this.
I don't know.
I think that the one thing that would come to mind is, let's say your device is folded in a particular manner, right? It's folded, let's say at half screen or something along those lines. Perhaps you get different functionality from an app that you're using based on the screen real estate that's available. So the bigger the screen real estate, I could see additional functionality being able to be pushed out via the app. So that could be something that I could see would be interesting and kind of adds a new paradigm to phone usage. But outside of that, I don't know if I really want my phone to fold per se. And now that I'm actually thinking about it, if I could fold my phone in half and slide it in my pocket, or if I had a phone that could fold out, let's say to a standard from a 6 inch maybe to a 12 inch, it could fold from a phone size out to a tablet size, now that would be exciting.
Yeah, now that I could see, but I guess my initial response was to not really have one simply because I don't really see a purpose, like, like you just said. I mean, and if it were something, yeah, like we could get to a tablet size, that would be cool.
That would be really cool.
That would be super dope. But as far as just the phone folding for the sake of folding, or
Yeah.
just like I don't really see a point to it. It's just kind of like, to me it sounds gimmicky and not like something that,
Yeah.
functionality wise is something that I'm like, ooh, I can really see why I would need that right now. We've been doing okay without it so far. I don't really
We've
think
been doing real okay.
I don't think it's gonna, blow me out of the water anytime soon, unless, like you said, we could get it up to a tablet and that it was like a kind of convertible situation with that. That would be really cool. But no,
Yeah.
I
Now,
don't
shout
really.
out to our Facebook livers. I see Monique said would prevent breakability. Now, Monique, you may be onto something that I didn't even think about. And Ari, tell me what your thoughts are on this. If we do get to a point where screens are really bending now to fold out like that, that means your screen had to bend at a 180-degree angle,
Right,
right? To go
right.
from being flat folded and basically fold all the way out like this. And so at that 100-degree angle of bend, that would mean technically that your screen shouldn't break unless it's a really, really sharp fall or something that has a lot of pressure on it. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, now that I'm here
Yeah.
for.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
But
would be like a byproduct of a
right,
foldable screen, more
right,
durability.
maybe, for sure, that would be super cool if that were it. But as far as like, I just don't see it providing any functionality like to the phone itself.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I
know,
hear you. We
so
shall see.
we'll see, because it looks like it's coming one way or the other.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we have come to the portion of the show, Facebook Livers, where we are going to have to say goodbye. As always, we are going to ask that you please subscribe to our show on all the major platforms, including iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Review our show in iTunes with constructive feedback, please, folks, and share this Facebook Live post and the entire show with your family and friends. Last but certainly not least, donate to our mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can donate at thesphere.tv/donate.
See y'all later, Facebook
See you
Lives.
later,
Okay.
Facebook.
Later, Gators. So, getting this popping, and I just put something in Facebook. I didn't realize I was typing as the Sphere Podcast Network, but watching the show from Facebook Live, like we do a really good job with this show. Like it's the everything that we're adding in with the transitions from Titler and how we do the split screen with Skype. Like it looks really dope. Like it almost brought a tear to my eye. Okay, I'm back. Let me get myself back together. Jeez Louise. Shout out to Magic Mike, man. You're doing an excellent job over there, Mike. And shout out to the
Yes.
interns who are getting, y'all don't understand the type of jewels y'all are getting from Magic Mike. But
Yes. Thank you, Mike, and the interns.
Mikey, let's get this taking me back to the Goonies. Let's get this party back on track and let's talk a little digital trends.
Oh, God.
Now digital trends, of course, is that conversation piece that we have when it's all about things that are happening right now and moving us forward throughout time. And we want to talk about them as that digital trend. And Ari, it looks like you found something that's really, really excellent. And we're talking about AI and it actually matching human intelligence around 2062. Ari, what's going on with this?
Yes. As those of you who may have tuned in to some of our previous episodes, you know that this is the stuff of my nightmares. But
Oh, sheesh. That's funny.
it really is. So it immediately caught my attention, and I was like, "What? No, it's too close." So, folks, an Australian expert by the name of Professor Toby Welsh from UNSW Sydney says that well, he's getting nervous about where AI is going. So if the experts are getting nervous, I'm getting nervous. So what he believes is that by the year 2062, that artificial intelligence will learn unique human traits such as adaptability, creativity, and emotional intelligence. So he believes that even without the machines being particularly smart, again, it's this conversation that we've had before about the ethics and about, machines making quote unquote human decisions and whether they're capable of doing that. And also the, implicit bias that kind of that goes into it. Furthermore, with this article that was really interesting was how they're accumulating this data in order to build these, AI machines. And, a lot of people don't realize that every time you're wearing your smartwatch, things of that nature, it's, getting information about your heart rate, all kinds of other things. And they're using that to essentially humanize the robots, y'all. So what do you think?
So, and just diving deep into this article, I mean, he brings up some great points. I think the first piece of this is having to align artificial intelligence with some type of human ethical decision making. And this actually goes back to, I think, what we talked about last week, if not the week before, was 2 weeks ago. We were talking about, truly autonomous vehicles and the ethics behind them, having to make a decision if, the brakes go out on this vehicle. Does the computer decide to slam into pedestrians walking across the road? Does it decide to slam into the vehicle next to it? What does that computer decide to do? How does it make a decision that's going to be the least impactful in society without giving rankings, so to speak, to individuals? So it becomes this ethics thing. And I think he even goes further by talking about how Facebook is an issue, right? It's optimized for your attention, not for creating or curating a political debate or making society a better place, is what Walsh says. And I think about how, through algorithms, it allowed infiltration from Russia and all this political garbage to get spewed into the 2016 election. And Facebook isn't thinking ethically, right? At the moment, it wasn't. And that's how they ended up having to be subpoenaed. And you had all those court cases. And of course, the stock for Facebook fell. So I think this is something that we're going to have to deal with, whether we like it or not. We are making vehicles that are becoming more and more autonomous. We talked about Tesla adding did we talk about the navigation to the tap to navigation yet? I don't think we talked about that. We talked about Summon coming out of the parking lot and following you. So they just added a new feature. It's funny because they're just like ramping it up. They just added this new feature that allows autopilot via navigation now. So you can tap it and basically wherever the navigation says you're supposed to do, exit the road, make a, change lanes, swerve or go around the particular on-ramp or off-ramp. The autopilot will now do those features for you, whereas it wouldn't. It was just doing smart lane changes, but now it's going to follow GPS. So basically, you don't have to control the steering wheel or accelerator from the moment you enter the freeway to the moment you exit the freeway, regardless of lane changes, merging from one freeway to another. So it's halfway to full autonomy just by a couple of software updates this past weekend.
Wow.
So we're getting like really, really close.
It's happening rapidly. So I mean, I think across the board, like we've discussed, before, that's going to be kind of, I think, the main hurdle to get over. But it's something like I want them to figure out before we've got a bunch of AI machines walking around amongst us, like I want, my fear is that the technology is growing and is improving so much more quickly than the guidelines, the ethical guidelines behind them can, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it becomes a thing of like, okay, are we going to have to constantly be waiting until these machines screw something up? or make a bad choice, or, to where we say, okay, now we've got to be more, adamant about coming up with these guidelines. Who comes up with that? Who even
That's
decides that?
That's a great question, and I think the guidelines will have. And this is one of the funniest things about this. These guidelines that you're talking about, they're going to have to be decided worldwide. Could you
Right.
imagine being in one country and artificial intelligence operates totally differently than it does in another country, right?
Right.
So how do you manage, imagine it state by state? You go to one state, robots do things differently than another state. And I guess you can kind of think about that as how citizens act. But I
To
mean,
s-
that's a lot of
to
power
some,
to,
yeah. And the article, Professor Walsh mentions, how AI can drastically change warfare. I
sure.
mean, that goes to, even, I guess, to some extent, that's a little bit of an example of as to what we were just talking about. I mean, I guess every country kind of has their MO, so to speak, when it comes to war and their military and things like that. But there are still certain universal rules that, conventions and different things that we just, everyone has to follow. So, yeah, I agree. At some point, there's going to have to be some global governing body of some sort that comes up with, a
Yeah.
set of standard universal rules that cannot be broken or changed, just for, I mean, safety and just, I mean, so many things. Like, so
It's a
many
lot.
things. It's a lot. It
That's a
is
lot.
uncharted territory for sure.
Yeah. We will see.
We will
We'll see where this
definitely
leads
see.
us.
We will
And
definitely see where it leads us.
the first thing I thought about was Terminator.
Yes, me
Yeah.
too. I was like,
Sarah
no.
Connor, Judgment Day.
That's so
We
scary
need
to me.
a sound effect.
It,
That's a new sound effect,
I
Mike.
know.
Put it on your board. We need a Judgment Day sound effect
Yes,
from
I mean,
Terminator or
this is
something.
terrifying to
I'll be
me.
back or something. I don't know.
This is terrifying to me. It's just like the stuff of nightmares, seriously. But yes, it'll be interesting. I mean, 2062 is not that far.
Not at all.
It
Around the
is
corner
not
here.
that far. Yes, indeed. All right, folks. Well, this portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is sure to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv.
There it is. Busha. So, let's pivot over and move outside of the human intelligence, and let's talk a
Yes.
little bit about the space intelligence. Now,
Yes.
for those that are tuned in right now, y'all, listen to this in traffic with your autonomous vehicle, on Spotify, or you're at the house right now, you're watching this kickback on Apple TV. It looks like we had some interstellar object that they're calling Oumuamua. I'm gonna put the French kisses in there with that moi moi. That was just strolling through our solar system, and some people think that it might have been powered by aliens. So let's dive a little deep into this. So we had a probe, and we'll just call it a probe, that some people are believing that was sent from interstellar space, obviously passing through our solar system, that was not bound by gravity in the way that gravity is pushed off from the sun, and obviously some of the bigger celestial objects that we have in our solar system, like Jupiter and other planets like that. But it appears as though this object is under a different gravitational force or control, which is why some people over at Harvard actually believe that this device may have been alien powered. And when we say alien, we're not talking people with big green eyes or anything like that. But what we're talking about is a planet that is outside of our solar system that has similar levels of technology, if not higher levels of technology. Now, let me juxtapose this into what we've done. We recently sent a satellite out into orbit that has recently hit the Keebler belt, which is right outside or at the edge of our solar system. So when that object gets into another solar system, and hopefully at some point it will be alien to any species or planet, I want to say humanoid, but any species that lives on a planet in another solar system. So we're literally sending satellites to do this same thing. And so now we've got an object that's entering or close to our solar system that appears to have come from another solar system that's not under the same jurisdiction as our planets are. Ari, what's your thoughts on this? How do you feel about the idea of this being the first potential contact from an alien species that the world really knows about?
See, unlike the AI robot situation, this is really cool to me. Like this doesn't terrify me. This is really
Yeah.
intriguing to me. I think it's cool. I would love to see what's out there. I think to some extent we've all got a bit of a curiosity as to like who else might be out there.
Hmm.
Um, the idea that another planet could potentially be as advanced, if not more advanced than us, and we're all kind of doing the same thing out in our respective places in space in terms of exploration. It's kind of cool to think about maybe the way that we're seeking knowledge about what's in other solar systems and galaxies outside of ours, that alien planets might be doing the same. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I would love to see where this goes. I like the idea that people aren't freaking out. We're not seeing protests all around the world, or we're seeing crazy nuts like how they did in, what was that, Independence Day? I remember that
Independence
movie.
Day.
Yeah, you had people with signs welcoming the aliens. I'm happy to see that people aren't going to any type of crazy levels. But I do think, and I'm just as excited as you are that this could be something great, and hopefully, we'll see. It's moving at some great speeds, and maybe there's more to come. Maybe it's just
I hope
parts of an
so.
asteroid that broke off and that are just moving independently, or maybe it is something that's controlled. We don't know, but I'm pretty sure we're going to find out at some point. And if there was really a concern, I don't know if the government would ever tell us anyway, for not wanting people to panic and things turn into a mass hysteria. So
Yeah, that it does make you wonder about that aspect. Like if they put it out there, or
yeah, people would go back crazy.
well, they would. I mean, if they made an official, we've made contacts with aliens. Oh, people would lose their minds.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like, they would be insane. Yeah, for good or bad. I mean, I think you'd have both sides of it. I think you'd have people that are completely terrified, and then like you gave the Independence Day example, you'd have other people on the other side that are like standing outside with signs and cookies, like waiting to
Hmm.
welcome. So you never know. I guess we'll see. All right, folks, it has been an awesome show, and this last portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Ashandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness by calling 713-789-8680.
There it is, folks. And That's it. We ain't got
Yes,
no more
that's
articles.
it.
We ain't got no more segments for y'all. I will say this. I was going back through this article, and this Oumuamua situation is really, really cool because it has no tail like a regular comet or anything like that. It's leaving no particle or dust.
Yeah, they
And they think it
describe it as a cigar-shaped probe.
hmm Yeah, and but like I said, without a tail of dust or any gas, which would be common as a comet, right? So comets have a tail, and they think it actually may be light sail technology, which is something that we've worked on, but we're at our infancy on creating light sail technology. But basically, it takes the radiation from the sun or from stars as it gets closer to stars, and that's what powers it. And
Ah,
it's on a direct path that's split between Mercury and the sun. So it's not, like I said, it's defying gravity as we know it in our solar system, as if it has some type of propulsion. So this is really cool. I'm going to
very
stay close
interesting.
to this article. And of course, for those that are tuned in, we will keep you all abreast to this newfound situation. So
Yes.
we shall see. Well, Ari, thank you so much. This has been an excellent show. I'm glad I was
Thank
able to Skype
you.
in for it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Good deal. Let the good people know where they can reach you at, my dear.
Alrighty, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at Dish with Ari.
That's what's up. And of course, people, if you need to reach me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. If you got any questions about what we do here on the show, shoot us an email. Technocrats. I had to get that right. Technocrats at thesphere.tv or across any social media platforms at the Sphere TV. Use our good old hashtag Technocrats, and we will be with you as soon as possible. This has been another great episode. We'll see y'all next time, folks.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace out.